Welcome to our Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. We have Intel, and we're having a little technical difficulties, so just stand by, and we'll start the show momentarily, hopefully.
Maybe, possibly, kind of,
Maybe,
sort of.
possibly.
Are you doing speed checks?
Yeah, I did earlier.
1 minute until showtime.
Great. There he is. Hello, Anand? Anand?
Oh.
Hello, Anand?
Yep. Hey, Craig.
Hi. You're 28. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. All right. That sounds good. That's a good question.
Okay, is this better for you?
Yeah, a lot better. Okay. Again, my apologies.
Okay.
We're having some technical difficulties, but let's just hope that it works. I'll just leave you on. I'll put you on mute, so you won't hear all the other things, and then hopefully you'll be there when we come back. Okay. We'll get right to you within a minute.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, sometimes there's just technical stuff that goes on that you can't help.
No, I completely understand.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, certified ethical hacker, Charles Tendell.
Hey, Charles. All right. So we're here for a really interesting show. Got a great show planned. An hour or two. We're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. But I want to get right to it. We got lots to talk about on this first hour, so let's get to it. Tonight is the third Wednesday of the month, and that means it's time for our Intel Sponsor Hour. Now, each month at this time, Intel joins us here at Computer America to discuss a variety of subjects on what Intel is doing in the consumer world of computing. Now, on tonight's show, Charles and I will be discussing Intel's latest processors, the desktop market, how Intel views the desktop PC in relation to other devices in the home, and the greatest challenge to the desktop PC as well as its greatest strength. Now, here with us is Anand Srivatsa. Anand is Intel's Director of Desktop Product Marketing. Anand, welcome into Computer America. How are you, sir?
Hi, Craig and Charles. Thank you very much. I'm good. I wanted to thank you for having me on your show.
Our pleasure. And again, my apologies. We're having some technical difficulties. Hopefully, the hour will go smooth. But I want to get into it, and the first thing that I want people to understand, and I know that you want listeners to understand, is Intel's view when it comes to desktops. You know, we hear rumors, desktops are they're phasing out, and everything's going to be tablets and ultrabooks, but that's not the case. I understand Intel is really investing in desktops. Could you speak about on that, please?
Absolutely, Craig. We've been focused on desktop at Intel for a very, very long time. Over the last several years, we've obviously seen a lot of new devices that are portable and mobile in nature. But one thing that we continue to focus on from an Intel perspective is the desktop computer, which has a very large installed base both for consumers around the world as well as for commercial use cases that range from small and medium businesses that are mom and pops all the way to enterprise customers where you have lots and lots of workers working like FedEx or other types of companies around the world. From an Intel perspective, we continue to make a significant investment in desktop computing. And we have new processors that we launch on a very regular cadence, and we spend a bunch of money and research and development in trying to make sure we have the right products for a highly segmented set of customers. And the big news for us from a desktop perspective is this market continues to segment. and we are continuing to invest to make sure that each of the customers in our marketplace has the right product from Intel for their desktop type of computer.
So, so in other words, what you're saying is that Intel is investing heavily in desktops and views them as being viable. They're not going away. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think if you've seen the news recently from Intel at the back half of last year, as well as news in the press recently, we've seen very strong demand for our PCs in general, as well as desktops specifically. From our viewpoint and the research that we do, we've seen a lot of people continue to buy mobile devices, but there's a very strong desire for them to continue to work on their desktop. There are a lot of applications that customers use that they feel very comfortable using on their desktop, and there's some very strong attributes about the device itself that our customers typically prefer. For example, there are, the reliability of the device in terms of having a device that doesn't move. It's hard to damage. These are things that typically people value very strongly. In addition, you've got the larger screen of the device, and you've got the performance, which again continues to be a #1 characteristic that our customers tend to go buy for. These are things that people very strongly associate with desktops, and we're seeing those customers continue to buy in large numbers.
Okay, so let's start off talking about some of these most recent developments. Like 2 weeks ago, you launched the first 4 gigahertz processor, the Core i7 unlocked processor, codenamed Devil's Canyon. What can you tell me about that?
We're extremely excited about this product that we launched, Craig. This product has a huge increase in performance out of the box for our customers. That first 4 gigahertz 4-core product is something that we have not been able to deliver until recently, and we were able to do it because of a significant investment in engineering to go ahead and get that capability out the door. Compared to our previous generation product that we launched a year ago, this is about a 500 megahertz improvement in frequency, which is unprecedented for us typically. The thing that we're very excited about is, we can offer this product the same price as our previous generation product. And we're very excited for this product as it pertains to our enthusiast customers who use these products for gaming and also for overclocking, as you mentioned, with the unlock capability of the part. What we did from an engineering perspective to deliver this in a very short time period is make sure that the part had better thermal capability, which is the ability to dissipate heat in high-performance products. These are very important. And also be able to deal with the extra current required in order to go hit the 4 gigahertz frequency for the part. We're able to turn this around in a pretty short time frame. And again, we think that this particular part is going to be very exciting for our enthusiast community out there that's looking for performance and is really hungry for it for their use cases.
Okay, so now you said something that made me sit up at you, and you mentioned the word unlock. You unlock a processor. What does it mean when you unlock a processor, and why is there so much excitement about it?
Sure. I think the history of desktop computing is one that's really built upon people who were building a lot of systems on their own. Typically nowadays you have a lot of systems that are provided Dell, etc. But there's a lot of people who are interested in continuing to tweak computing and to go get more performance. And so most of Intel's processors today have a certain level of performance that we guarantee through the life cycle of the product, but there continues to be a strong base of users that are trying to get more performance and are willing to invest in the right infrastructure, which is motherboards or power supplies and those kinds of peripherals in order to try to get more performance. And in order to go get that extra performance, we have certain CPUs on our product roadmap and portfolio that are unlocked and enable our customers that have the interest to go and tweak the performance to go get the most out of their product, to go use these CPUs and really have them perform beyond their TDP frequency or the base frequency that Intel would guarantee.
Okay.
Now, this kind of product, we typically see a lot of users, who are using it for gaming or for other reasons. They absolutely are looking for the most performance that they can go get, and they're typically very excited to take a product and showcase that they can get much better performance than a typical user potentially could from the normal performance of that product.
Sure. So, and again, so this, because I know when I was shopping for my Intel processor, I chose the Core i7 because I wanted to get what at the time was the top of the line, and I always felt that I wanted to get the top of the line because I was staving off obsolescence. That I was going to get the fastest and the bestest, and that was going to breathe more life into my computer. It was going to be better for a longer period of time. And that's proven to be true. I mean, and I'm very glad that I did it. So this Devil's Canyon, which is the code name, when will this be coming out? I mean, is this imminent?
Absolutely. We launched the part in Computex in Taiwan a couple of weeks ago, which is I think on June 3rd. In fact, we launched the part, and we should be able to buy these processors in the market, within the next month or so. We're expecting to see most of our normal retailers who sell box CPUs provide these products to you. As I mentioned, this particular product, which comes in a couple of flavors, it comes in a Core i7 flavor, which is typically the top of Intel's processor product line. It also comes in a Core i5 flavor. These two products are typically targeted at advanced users who are generally building their own systems. And so these users tend to buy essentially best-of-breed components. So they're building a chassis that has lots of flexibility to go and add the right level of power supplies. They have the right cooling solutions that they go put on there. They're buying a motherboard with lots of capability from a BIOS perspective or other features to really get the most amount of performance. And typically what they do when they build their own is they're also buying a box processor from a retailer to go and basically build that system out. And so we expect that they'd be able to get these parts within the next month, at their favorite stores.
Okay, all right. And of course, so if you're into gaming, now, we do a Gamer Tuesday. We have a lot of shows that are dedicated to gaming, quite frankly. We have a number of correspondents who are journalists who cover the gaming arena, and it's always been their contention is that that people who really want to play the best possible games always go for the top of the line. So you're going to have a Core i5 and the Core i7 of Devil's Canyon, and that's good to know. I mean, because you do give people, it's always good when you give people a choice, which is nice, and so that's very, very good. Tell me about your new Pentium processor, and because Pentium processor has been around for a very long time. What's different about this new one that you're announcing?
Absolutely. As you know, the Pentium product line is a product line with really rich history at Intel. In fact, it's one of the most recognized processor brands in the world, given the amount of time that Intel has been investing in the Pentium family of products. We recently celebrated the 20th anniversary of the Pentium product line, and in recognition of that product line, we've come out with a new Pentium product. It's called the Pentium Anniversary Edition product line, which is a Pentium type product that also has some of these unlock capabilities that we talked about that the Devil's Canyon line of products has as well. The product, we believe, is going to be a really interesting product line for users who are just starting to get into doing this do-it-yourself or getting into tweaking and creating high performance computing machines on their own. And so we believe that this is going to be a very interesting on-ramp for a bunch of folks who are trying to start to go into this space for the first time. The Devil's Canyon set of products has a very rich following for existing buyers who buy our K-SKU product line. This is our typical designation for unlocked CPUs. That has a pretty rich history. But again, as we mentioned, there's Core i5 and Core i7 variants of that product. They're typically targeted for very high performance products. but we recognize that there's probably a set of customers who are starting to get into the space for the first time, and for them to go ahead and tinker and maybe try out some things, there's a much lower price product that allows you to go and try these things out on your own, and that would be the Pentium product.
So the Pentium product is not the Devil's Canyon product. I want to clarify. Are those two different SKUs or what?
Yeah, there's certainly different SKUs. The Pentium product is not really Devil's Canyon, no.
Okay, I just want. Okay, all right. So, but the thing that makes this new Pentium processor different, if you had to, put a nail into it, what would you say really makes this one stand out? This Pentium processor.
The key difference from the existing products that we have today would be, again, this ability to go ahead and unlock the product and get more performance than the typical rated performance of the part that the product would ship with out of the box.
Got it. It's interesting because it used to be when you would you try to unlock or overclock a processor, that was kind of frowned upon because you could burn it out. But it's interesting that that Intel is sort of going down this route, but doing it in a legitimate way. It's being authorized by Intel, and so you don't have a problem with, or worry about having to burn the processor up.
Yeah, I think there's certain sets of customers. I think from a user base, as we talked about, the desktop market is pretty highly fragmented. From what people are using their machines for. We see, for example, people who buy all-in-ones today that are buying for clutter-free designs. They may be using a tower box for traditional uses like browsing the internet, to maybe some mainstream type gaming. And again, there's a segment of our customer base that is very technically savvy, that is willing to try and operate these parts in an unlocked manner. Right? This isn't something that everybody would likely go and do, but again, we do have a good history of people who continue to try to unlock our parts and are interested in trying to get that much performance out of it. And Intel offers the capability for those parts and select CPUs that we offer, the K-SKU CPUs as we talked about. And Devil's Canyon is the new instantiation of those products with significantly higher performance. The Pentium Anniversary Edition, again, is targeted for maybe the first-time enthusiasts who are trying to get into the space. There are some differences between the Pentium product line and our Devil's Canyon. The Pentium product line is a dual-core part. The Devil's Canyon part is a quad-core part, and so there's certainly performance differences between the two products. But again, we think that this product, the Pentium Anniversary Edition, would be interesting for those people who are trying to get into the space for the first time and potentially learning about what it takes to go and get more out of your CPU.
Right, exactly. All right, and
processor.
Yeah, no, I understand. I remember when the Pentium first came out, they talked about hyper-threading and all these really cool features that you'd only find in the Pentium. And now it's interesting you call it the Anniversary Edition. I kind of like that because it makes you feel like, well, it's been around for a time, and it's coming back and it's been refreshed, and I think that's very, very, very interesting. And again, and I assume the big difference is affordability, price-wise. The Pentium processor won't be as costly as the Devil's Canyon because it's not quite as robust. Am I correct in that assumption?
Absolutely. There's certainly levels of performance that are different between the Pentium product line and and our traditional Core family of product lines. Right? We have the Core i3, the i5, and the i7, and those are our products that we target for the mainstream user. The Pentium is more of a value type product. Again, the Pentium product is still going to be very good for those computer users that are looking at everyday tasks, potentially even some amount of gaming. But again, there are differences in the part, with Pentium being a dual core product versus the Core i5 and i7 being quad core for the desktop. I think one of the points that you brought out, Craig, is we do see a lot of people who are buying desktops and are buying them for future proofing. Right, we are seeing them buy higher end processors, and certainly the performance of those processors really helps convince them to go and buy that right product for them. For something that's going to last several years in their home.
Well, I'm glad you agree with me on that because as I've always been saying, spend what spend till it hurts, exactly. I mean, make that extra effort because you're buying a future. You're increasing the longevity of your computer when you do that. You buy a more robust or a faster processor, it's going to last for a longer time. And I'm glad to hear that you agree with me on that. Let's go a little bit beyond the Devil's Canyon. I mean, what else does because you've been talking about this high-performance PC. So what else does the high-performance PC user have to look forward to from Intel this year?
Absolutely. We have got a couple of other new things that we're going to talk about that are coming this year. One of the things that we're going to be talking about later this year is going to be our first 8-core processor for the desktop market. And so this product will support DDR4 memory, which is the next instantiation of memory technology, which provides much faster access speeds to memory and therefore sort of translates to better performance for your overall PC. One of the great things about this higher core count product is there's different use cases that we see, from a desktop user perspective. And one of the things that this is very strong for, in addition to the gaming that we've talked about, is also around content creation and content manipulation. We see obviously an explosion in terms of digital SLR cameras that have very high megapixel sensors, or video cameras nowadays that even get into the 4K space. And some of this content that people are bringing in, they're not only looking to go and preserve their memories, but potentially make new videos or create their own content. And these high-performance computers certainly help them to do that in a much more effective and timely manner to make that experience that much better for them. And so we're looking forward to announcing and launching our 8-core product later this year for those kinds of users.
8 cores. That is amazing. 8-core processors. You think it's going to be toward the latter part of this year? And is that going to be is it just going to be in one of the processors lines, or are they going to be in multiple processor lines? Where are we going to find these 8-core processors appearing? I mean, because we've been talking things like Bay Trail and other processors that Intel makes, and I'm curious to know where these 8-core processors are going to appear.
And good question, Craig. So we're expecting this product again to be in the latter half of the year, right? So this is a product that we expect to be launching at that time frame. Now, again, I know you mentioned Bay Trail. Again, back to the desktop market for us again has lots of different use cases, and we've got a pretty broad range of products commensurate to the users we've got and the investment that's required to really give people the right set of products. The Bay Trail family of products really enables us to bring very aggressive system price points for a desktop, so we can go and get people who are buying a first PC, for example, somebody who's never bought that before. We're seeing a lot of interest in emerging markets for these kinds of devices, where people are looking for a desktop, but their affordability really targets them to something that's actually very inexpensive. But they're trying to get their first taste of computing. And then on the other range of products are things like Devil's Canyon and this 8-core product that we're going to go be launching, where we have established users that understand the need that they have for performance in their applications and what they typically do with their computer, and they're buying for those reasons. And so we would see these 8-core products on the desktop side typically towards the high end of our CPU roadmap.
Right. Now, when people are going to be, when they buy these 8-core processors, these are not people who are going to be, using Microsoft Office or word processing. We're really getting into PC gaming, I would think, because that's where you really need the horsepower. So let's talk a little bit about PC gaming. I mean, there are a lot of gamers out there who listen to the show, and what do you think drives the gamers back to the PC?
I think there's a couple of things, right? But I think the biggest part of it is really around the performance of the PC. The performance of the PC is really unparalleled in terms of the amount of performance that you can go get for some of the advanced games that we go see and are played on PCs on a daily basis. Right now, gaming is absolutely exploding, across the world in all geographies. In fact, one of the most interesting things we're seeing right now is gaming is really going from something that typically people played on the computer, sort of enjoyed on their own, or even played on their consoles and enjoyed on their own, to really being a spectator sport. One of the most interesting things I think I saw recently from an article was an announcement in China that they're building a 15,000-seat stadium to go and actually showcase gaming events.
Yes,
where you'll have a gaming team online or a gaming team playing in the stadium, and you'll have people watch the games. Intel has a event that we host called the Intel Extreme Masters, where we basically have tournaments of these PC gamers that are playing games against each other, and this stuff is broadcast on Twitch TV and other online media to go and really get that usage base, to be able to go and view these gaming events as they're happening live. So PC gaming, I think, for us is a huge market that we're seeing to continuously growing. One of the big things that's driving it is also sort of the new set of online games that are becoming very popular. One title that's very, very popular right now is League of Legends, which has about 27 million daily active users and 70 million monthly active users. These are the kinds of things that in the past would not really have been there. It had been sort of a single user type of game, and now you're seeing a lot more of these online gaming type of applications that are really bringing people back to PCs.
I've experienced this myself, Anand, is that my son Ben is a big gamer, and I walked into the room one day, and he and his friends were watching on their computer, and they had these two gentlemen who were in suits and ties, and they were commentators. They were talking about, and I said, "Oh, is it a sporting game? Are they watching football?" And no, it was they were actually watching a PC game that they were just watching these teams play them, and they were in front of a large studio audience that was watching it, so you could see all this happening on the computer while you're watching the game, and they were just sitting back watching the styles of how they're playing these games. And these two gentlemen are narrating and talking about, oh, well, I think he's in trouble, and it would be just like you were watching a football game or a game of golf or tennis. I mean, it was to me, it was absolutely amazing watching this. And I said, well, why do you do this? Because they were really getting into it. They enjoyed it, and as I started to watch it, I could see why. I mean, it's just it's a whole another world going on out there. It's amazing.
You're absolutely right, Craig. I think some of the numbers that we see here are astonishing, and I think this move to spectator TV essentially for gaming is absolutely new, but this sort of speaks to the amount of interest worldwide in gaming, right? It is absolutely the new way that people enjoy content. I mean, if you think about the transition from books to radio to TV to gaming, we're getting more and more levels of interactivity in how we want to enjoy our content, and gaming is a frontier that's absolutely exploding. And that's driving a lot of the need for performance on the computing side, and we're seeing it pretty broad-based, right? We see lots of gamers, and across the world, and again, they're interested in this type of PC gaming experience. And again, you're right. The trends are absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and there's a lot of money involved. I mean, the winners are winning, like $1 million purse. It's not small potatoes. It's big money with big purse prizes. Playing these games. These are people who have gone professional with it, and it's just amazing to watch the interaction. And they're watching all this on their PC. They're watching the game. They're watching the narrators in a window. They're watching the gaming progress. It's just like watching a big sporting event, but it's a game, and it's live. It's amazing. And of course, obviously, the people with the more horsepower with the better processors in their computer. I don't know if they're going to are they going to get some sort of advantage over people who don't have as powerful a computer.
We certainly hear that a lot. Again, I'm not a hardcore gamer by any stretch of the imagination, Craig, but what we hear pretty consistently is, when you're playing these online games, or even if you're playing a first-person shooter, in your home, the ability of your computer to render a game or provide, a game onto your screen as quickly as possible helps you be successful. We've seen examples of people saying, if they've got a better computer that can process more pixels and, a monitor that can show them the details, you can see the shoe of the person you're trying to shoot before they can, and you can go win the game.
Yeah.
And so that, that's the kind of, feedback that we're getting, and that's certainly where the performance really seems to matter for these users.
Sure, and you want to get that high frame rate, and you want to get so there's less jitter or stutter. All these things help you to play the game better, just for the fun of it, or if you're into playing it, on a more professional level. But Intel's looks like it's going to have the processors for you with these 8-core processors. This is amazing. Anand, we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back after these commercial messages. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Anand Srivatsa is here with us, Intel's Director of Desktop Product Marketing. Intel is investing in desktops, and you're hearing about it here on the Computer America Show. It's not just about laptops or tablets. We'll be right back with more. This is the Computer America Show. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. Their mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing, south to rescues in the north where homes are easy. It's a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of the Linmar Undead Power Helix 11 amp hour power puck. You could easily get excited about the 11,000 milliamp hour rating of the lithium polymer battery in the Linmar Undead Power Helix. But for us, its most exciting thing is it fully supports a 4.4 amp current draw, 2.4 travel companion, but it to a car's center console where it can keep gaining charge whenever the car's running, but keep charging whatever you've plugged into it, 3 other items, even when the car is off. Or if you've got to be away from outlets, take it with you. Bottom line, of all the power pucks we've seen so far, the most powerful proposition is in the Undead Power Helix from Lenmar. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
And welcome back to the Computer America Show. Where'd Charles go? We are talking to Intel tonight. Anand Srivatsa is here with us. He is Intel's Director of Desktop Product Marketing, and we're talking about Intel's commitment to desktops. They're not going anywhere. You know, you hear people saying, "Oh, you know, tablets are going to be the big thing," and Ultrabooks, portable. No one's going to have a deal in desktops anymore. That's not the case. And we have Intel here tonight to make that point and to make sure that you know that Intel is investing heavily in desktops. They believe in them. They're developing powerful processors for them this year and the years coming up. And we're talking We've been talking about PC gaming. So obviously, it seems that Intel is still very committed to the desktop market. Now, can you explain, Anand, how Intel views the desktop PC market, where it's going, and Intel's approach to innovating for home users?
Sure, Craig. I think one of the major changes that we see in the desktop market over the last 5 years is a fundamental change in the number of form factors and flavors that desktops come in. We talked over the last half hour about gaming, which a lot of people tend to go and think about their old tower PCs. But in the last 5 years, we've seen a bunch of new form factors that are emerging for desktops and are doing extremely well. One of them is the all-in-one PC, which is a stylish, compact, clutter-free PC that really removes some of the frustration that people typically have with their towers in terms of the number of cables or the setup time, and really allows our customers to provide very beautiful machines that are fully integrated with a monitor and that compute element, in one very neat package. It also allows our users to go and really get a very immersive experience with that type of PC. That's one type of PC that we see actually. Yep.
We say last month we had Miles Kingston on the show. He's the director of the all-in-one segment at Intel. It was a terrific show. He really talked about all the all-in-ones. I actually have an all-in-one desktop computer. I love them, and I think they're absolutely terrific. So yes, that certainly is a good point. So continue on, please.
Sure. So I think in addition to the all-in-ones that that are becoming very popular, we have portable all-in-ones, which essentially take the all-in-one user experience to the next level by giving you portability in the home with the addition of a battery, and sort of takes you from a single wire type of experience to really no wires from that form factor. But we're also seeing an explosion in other form factors for the desktop, where we're seeing desktops become smaller, and we are seeing a new class of desktops emerge that we're calling mini desktops. Some of these are incredibly small. They're really in the sub 2-liter type of volume from a form factor perspective, and at that level they're seeing a lot of new use cases that typically you wouldn't think you could put a desktop into. For example, you can put them next to your television, or put them in places where you wouldn't be able to commit the kind of space that you would have had previously to deliver to a older tower type systems. The thing for Intel is, from supporting these different types of desktops, we have to make the investments in processors that allow you to get the desktop level of performance in each of these new form factors. And so we've got our enthusiasts that would typically buy a Devil's Canyon product, who are buying very high performance product in a tower type device where they've got more space and to go and provide to that particular CPU. But we also have these mini desktops, or these all-in-ones, and we're providing CPUs for each of these different type of form factors to get that desktop level of performance that our customers value and are buying for. And so again, from an Intel perspective, we think that the desktop market is very healthy because of these new type of form factors that are coming out, as well as our existing customers who are looking for that performance and are still buying the tower PCs for gaming or for content creation. And we're seeing, again, these increase in new types of devices that help us service new customers.
So what you're saying is that these aren't your grandma's tower PCs anymore. So tell me about some of these ultra small PCs, or as you call them, mini PCs. Do they have the same capability as the traditional desktop towers, or how would your typical consumer use these mini PCs?
Great question, Craig. What we're seeing with these mini PCs is we're seeing people, our customers, the HP, Dell, Lenovo's of the world, really build these PCs for several different types of use cases. On the one hand, there are use cases for these devices in commercial applications and enterprise customers where they're really looking to go and reduce the amount of space that they take up on a desk. And so they're hiding these things behind a monitor so that there's no footprint for that particular device. They're also putting them in places where you don't want them to be seen, so maybe people can't unplug them or take them away from anywhere, so you can put them in places where a typical PC wouldn't get stored. We're seeing them in other vertical type of use cases as well, where you'd see them maybe in in kiosks, for example, or in usages that we would typically think of as embedded systems, right? You can think of smart shopping or digital signage. So there's a bunch of commercial use cases for them. In the consumer applications, we think these would make really interesting products, as home theater type PCs, or even replacements for your traditional desktop. Your traditional tower, if you're looking for something that, again, is a little bit more compact and more clutter-free. One of the great things with the Intel roadmap is we're able to offer significant amounts of performance at various form factors, and so we're able to offer you very high performance on towers, but we're also able to offer that desktop level of performance in these mini desktops or in all-in-ones. And so we're really giving the consumers the choice to really buy the right device for them, depending on what they're looking for, right? If they're looking for something that's very stylish, or if they're looking for something that's a little bit more compact, they may choose to buy an all-in-one, or they may choose to buy a mini desktop. If they're really looking for the maximum performance, or if they're looking for something that's a little bit more traditional, they can go buy a tower-type product.
Okay, so you've given some examples how the typical consumer would use these mini PCs, and they really are catching on, and I'm glad to see Intel is supporting them. I mean, that's by making products to the components that companies can make these mini PCs. They seem to be extremely popular. I mean, they've been around for a while, and it just seems to be growing. I don't know if it's a sign of the times, or people want things smaller. Maybe it has to do with the tablet or ultrabook mentality. But they seem to they're thinking, well, if my laptop can get smaller or thinner, then why shouldn't my desktop get that way?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think there's two aspects here. So on the one side, you certainly see people who have been buying portable devices, right? It started with phones and tablets and obviously laptops from a PC perspective, but you have a bunch of people who are buying portable computing devices that allow them to go and access the internet or get them that computing experience when they're on the go. But there also is, from a desktop perspective, or from our vantage point, a device that's fixed, value in getting smaller versions of them for many use cases, right? We talked a little bit about the opportunity to go and get you more space on a desk, for example, if you're in an environment where real estate is a premium. But one of the other benefits that we see is as these devices get smaller, there's a lot of use cases that standard desktops can get used for that you wouldn't normally typically think about. We talk about some of these things as easy embedded, but what we're seeing with products from Intel, like the next unit of computing, our very small desktop type product, or even from our OEM products, we talked about the products that our customers come out with, the HP, the Lenovo's, is these type of boxes end up in various commercial and consumer use cases that you typically wouldn't think a traditional PC would be powering. We've seen our customers use these things for taxi displays, for example. They use them in point of sale for retail. They use them in digital signage. We talked about that. We're seeing them in intelligent vending machines. Think of, the Coke machine type of product, or, a vending machine for food. We're seeing these type of devices that typically were powered by a custom motherboard that would have to be built to go power them. They're using these small desktops because these things are available commercially, and they now fit anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? These are the kinds of things that a typical larger desktop couldn't do previously.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of the. I was at a restaurant the other day, and I wanted, I was going to get my soda drink, and they had this machine, this vending machine, that actually had a computer screen in it, and you could select from a wide variety, 30, 40, 50 different drinks, and evidently it mixed them together, and evidently it was powered by Windows. So it was running on a Intel-based PC that fit into the vending machine. I had not seen that before, so I don't know if that's the one that you were thinking about, but I certainly are starting to see vending machines with these computers in them.
Absolutely. I think we are seeing our customers be extremely creative with these boxes and really use them for things that we as Intel probably hadn't thought about. We've seen lots of applications like this, from navigation systems on boats to the intelligent vending machine that you just talked about. On the consumer side, we expect, again, a similar type of expansion in the kind of use cases that you use a PC for. Typically we've talked about, PCs being used for, the traditional type of, internet or email or, gaming or content creation, but they're also an emerging set of use cases. We see devices in the home that are trying to bring all your content together. We call these type of devices a home hub or a home server.
Mm-hmm.
Today we've got tons of content that people are creating on their own, be it pictures or movies, or they're trying to, play the movies that they have on the various devices they've got in their home. We think these smaller boxes can certainly help people go and create those kinds of devices within their homes. So buy a device that provides this kind of function. We also see them, again, potentially next to TVs as a media center type of PC, or one interesting use case is around gaming as well. We see a lot of these gamers in many markets do something called a LAN fest. They get together and they game, and having a small, very powerful PC, offers them that opportunity to potentially go and do gaming on the go with a desktop, potentially at your friend's house.
Exactly. This is amazing stuff. Now, I know it's been a busy week for Intel. I know that you just announced that Intel was upping its revenue expectations for this quarter, and actually cited strong demand for business PCs as one of the reasons for the better outlook. Can you comment on how desktops are doing in business and what's driving the uptick in PC sales?
Absolutely. As we mentioned, desktops are used, in a raft of places, from both commercial to consumer use cases. On the commercial side, we've seen a lot of continued investment from our customers, particularly in small and medium business as well as enterprise, as we've seen the overall economy start to stabilize around the world. So that's one major thing that we believe is driving people to continue to buy and invest in PCs. The second aspect of it is, again, PCs are central to the overall productivity of a lot of these customers, right? They need these devices because they're using them to go run applications that run their business, right? Be it, an accounting application they're using, or, a inventory management tool, or those kinds of things that they've invested in PCs and they continue to need them to get their work done. One other element that recently has gotten a bunch of press is actually the transition that we are seeing in the market from Windows XP to newer OSs. In April of this year, Microsoft officially ended support for Windows XP, and we are seeing a bunch of press and analysts pick up on that, and customers actually start to buy and refresh their PCs because of the concerns of lack of support moving forward on that old operating system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we reported that here on the that was was in April. I think that they basically said goodbye to the support for Windows XP, and there was a lot of moaning and groaning, but people don't like change. It's been my experience, and but you've got to get rid of the legacy products become legacy. You've got to move on. Have to keep the future bright. You can't stay mired in old technology. You just have to kind of move on, because there really are so many better things out there.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the surprising things for us was how much Windows XP is actually out there right now. I bet there's a bunch of your listeners today that may be using them in their home as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes, those of us in the industry do seem to get this news early that, these kind of operating systems are potentially, reaching their end of life or their end of support. But for a lot of the typical users, in some cases, they're not aware of it, and so they get caught a little bit by surprise that this is actually happening.
Yeah, I know. Well, so it seems that everyone has a smartphone or tablet these days, right? I mean, that's just the way things are now. And I'm going to ask this: I know that Intel is going to be heavily invested in desktops, but I have to ask this question: are desktops a complement to these devices? Or does Intel believe desktops will eventually be replaced by these mobile devices?
What we're seeing actually more and more in our research is that the desktop is actually pretty complementary. The attributes that we see our customers give to their desktops are in a lot of ways very different than what they give to their portable devices. One example is, with the huge growth in tablets, Intel did a bunch of research to try to understand, the buyers who are buying a tablet, are they buying to replace devices like a desktop? And most of our research is coming back to say that this is, in fact, a complementary device. And it really speaks to the differences in expectations that people have between, a tablet type of device and the desktop. One of the key ones is certainly the performance that they expect, but there are other attributes as well, right? You can certainly drop and break a tablet. These are things that, from a desktop perspective, we see as core values where people tend to look at their desktop and they look at it as a reliable piece of hardware where they store a lot of very important things to them, be it pictures or key documents that they have. Those things tend to be stored on their desktop, and they value the fact that that device is pretty robust and something that they trust to go hold very important pieces of information for them. There's also, the differences in screen size or the ergonomics. We have a lot of people who just say the desktop is where they go to really focus and work. It's different than what they do with some of these portable devices, which, we hear the term snacking, right? They're snacking on computing or snacking on internet, small bursts of activity. They really look at the desktop as where they go back and really get the work that they need to get done. And so, we are seeing increasingly that, these new set of portable devices are absolutely complementary, and we are innovating on the desktop to go and, create more value between the two devices. One of the technologies we recently launched was called Ready Mode technology, and that technology enables a desktop to be always accessible by your mobile devices. So, for example, if you have a bunch of pictures stored on your desktop, your typical tablet and phone doesn't have that much storage that you'd bring your entire photo library with you, but we're creating the kind of infrastructure or the base technology such that when you're away from your home, you can go back and connect to your desktop and pull that picture off even if you're not in your house. And so that's how we think these devices are fairly complementary to each other and will continue to be that way.
I don't know if you had a chance to catch the keynote for Apple Computer. They were talking for the Worldwide Developer Conference, but they were talking about Yosemite, their next operating system, OS 10.10, and they were showing how the computer will integrate with all these mobile devices. I mean, your phone ring, you're on your smartphone, and you can answer the phone now or transfer the call from your phone to your desktop computer, and continue on or back. And it's just, there seems to be an integration of the desktop computer to all these mobile devices. I mean, it was thrilling to watch, to see that that you're going to be able to do things like this with the existing technology that you already have, with the smartphone that you already have, with the desktop that you already have. That we're beginning to see this beautiful seamless integration between all of these devices.
Absolutely, and our view is that this will continue to happen. We have users who are buying portable devices for their particular need and and their desire for portability and the ability to access these devices on the go. But we think again, there's a lot of unique value propositions that a desktop brings. That the 1 + 1 = 3 type of opportunity is significant. And as you referenced, I think the Apple keynote speaks to that, and we're seeing a lot of our customers also very interested in offering this kind of capability, where really you get the best of both worlds. You get the best of your portability and your personalization or other types of attributes to a phone or a tablet, but you get the best of performance, the best of screen resolution, things like 4K displays on the desktop side, as well as ergonomics and performance that you'd expect on those more powerful machines.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned the 4K because you're going to need these better processors coming from Intel, like the Devil's Canyon. Well, when you have 4K, that's a lot of pixels that you're moving on that HDMI cable or whatever. You're going to need that. You're going to need that power because the desktop is becoming much more detailed. You have those higher frame rates. It all seems to kind of come together, doesn't it, Anand?
Absolutely. With the higher screens, and in fact, even cameras, for example. If you look at today's SLRs or today's cameras that people are buying, right? If it's digital SLRs or even point-and-shoot cameras or even the cameras on your phones, the amount of megapixels that these cameras generate are easily in the 4K range. And in order to manipulate that, display that, you need a lot of performance on your computer in order to go do that. One of the things that Intel's done recently, which we also announced a couple of weeks ago, was our partnership with a collaboration with Samsung to help drive 4K monitors and panels to lower cost points so that there'll be more adoption of 4K. So this is, again, another instantiation of us investing in desktop, but also a recognition that desktops do help drive very high quality panels, and we want to make sure that that market is robust. And you're right, the marriage between the performance of the CPU and these new panels coming down, the capabilities of cameras, these are all sort of a highly virtuous circle building on top of each other.
Yeah, you're right. And I have an iPhone 5S now, and the camera in there is just absolutely amazing. I take glorious pictures. I don't even feel the need to carry around a separate camera anymore. When I go on a trip, I just take my iPhone with me. That's all I need. But they have these not only the regular phones, but you have the high definition photos. You're talking a great deal of and videos that you take. You really need a PC that's going to have the power to manipulate these to whatever you want to do. Not only view them, but to process them. If you want to edit them or change them, you really need a current PC. You need something that's going to have not only the power of the PC, but also even the interfaces, like Thunderbolt and Thunderbolt 2. I mean, these are all Intel-based technologies. Thank goodness that they're there, because if you have to use the old technology, you're going to be sitting around twiddling your thumbs, waiting for these things to happen, and that's not where you want to be. And that's why I'm so glad to see that Intel is continuing to make the hardware that's going to support all this additional data. It's the same data. It's just better quality data, that you're dealing with, and obviously you need the power to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, Craig. And I think it goes back to your initial comment about buying a Core i7. I think this is part of the reason why we see a lot of people buying these high performance products. Is it's not just Intel that's investing, but you talked about the camera on your iPhone 5. We see technology evolving so fast that we know that there's going to be new types of things we want to do on a computer that we probably hadn't imagined 2 to 3 years ago, because we didn't think the capabilities would be there, that we'd have 20 megapixel cameras today, or you could take a 4K video today. these are things that we have right now that, a couple of years ago you may have thought wouldn't be realizable for several years.
Right.
And so again, I think we see a lot of people buying desktops with lots of performance, and as you get more technology coming in, they're certainly using them.
We got less than about 2 minutes left. Can you tell me what you see as the greatest challenge to desktop PCs and what its greatest strength is in about a minute and a half? Sorry to do this to you, but yeah, we're almost out of time.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest challenges we have from a desktop perspective is making sure people understand all of this rich innovation that's happening in this space. We see a lot of news, a lot of talk in the industry about portable devices, right? There's obviously tons of innovation going on there as well, but a lot of people surmise that maybe on the desktop side, the innovation has slowed down, and that certainly is not the case, right? We are having to make significant investments on our side to make sure we've got the products for all of these new exciting form factors and all these innovations we're seeing from a technology perspective. And again, part of our effort out here is to make sure that our customers understand and know that there's this new innovation, and that the choices that you have for desktops today are very different than the choices that we would have had several years out or several years ago. And so we're pretty bullish that, again, we need to get this word out, and when people go into a store to see the desktops of today, they'll be very surprised, compared to what they thought that they would see in the store.
Well, Anand, listen, it's a lot to think over, and certainly very enlightening and very gratifying to hear. I want to thank you for being here with us tonight on the Computer America show, and knowing that all these new, faster processors are coming out in Intel's direction, and that Intel is definitely investing in desktops. So nothing, you don't have anything to worry about when it comes to that. Thank you so much for being with us here, Anand.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And absolutely. You take care and have a good evening, and thank you again. All right. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Coming up in hour 2, we're going to have Computer Technology News brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We got more coming up. This is the Computer America show on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, somewhat missing in action, certified ethical hacker Charles Tendell.
Oh, you're here. Okay.
Barely.
What happened?
McDonald's is a bad idea.
Oh gosh! All right. Well, thanks for coming back here. Hopefully, you have some news stories for me, because I've been trying to get you on AIM to let you know. But we had Intel here in the first hour. We had Anand Srivatsa, and we were talking about Intel and how it's investing in desktops and some of their new processors, 8-core processors, Devil's Canyon. Even the name sounds really cool, all right?
It sounds entertaining. I'm trying to figure out.
What?
Devil's Canyon. I mean, desktop computers are an interesting thing, but honestly, I'm like, wow, man, we're kind of feels like we're going backwards.
No, how do you figure that? I mean, they're getting these multiple core processors. This is just
now an 8-core processor. Once we get that into like a laptop where you've got some serious mobile computing power.
Well,
that's impressive, but desktops. I mean, I see their need, their niche for the hardcore gamers, and that's who they're leaning toward is the gaming people. So, I mean, it's.
Well, you don't need an 8-core processor to do word processing. Okay.
No, you don't. You could probably pull it off with nothing.
Yeah, no. All right, but obviously, but there are applications and things where you need that power, like if you're doing photo processing, videos, and of course the videos are becoming more and more are becoming larger and larger. The images that we're taking are becoming more bigger and bigger. and you need some sort of desktop power to do that, and certainly Intel is going to maintain that. At least that's what the direction that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyhow, all right. Anyhow, thanks again to Anand Srivatsa, Intel's Director of Desktop Product Marketing, for joining us here in the first hour of the show. Let's see.
No, I haven't had a chance to grab normal. Why, dear God. Hold on.
That.
Stupid autoplay videos.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start being like, yeah, these websites suck. I'm never coming back to you because you're doing all this stuff. But we're gonna be talking about this tomorrow with Pop Zera and Nate Evans. But today is an interesting day in phone technology.
How do you figure?
Well, we were talking about this one specific company was going to be doing deliveries by drone here.
Yeah. Oh, Amazon?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And also Amazon, by the way, you mentioned Amazon. Didn't they introduce a phone today?
They did, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So what did you get any scoop on this on this new phone?
No scoop on it. I mean, I've looked at some of the things on it over the course of the day. Of course, being a tech company, my guys were all over it as soon as it was announced. And they were like, "Oh my God, are you seeing this?" I was like, "Yes." Another way for Amazon to push ads and sell you their stuff. But there's some pretty cool things there. Of course, it is a phone that is based on Android. It is a 4.7-inch screen, and it is an Amazon. If you've ever picked up a Kindle Fire, you've ever used a Kindle Fire, that's basically what it is. It's a Kindle Fire that's 4.7 inches.
And that you can buy Amazon stuff on.
Yeah, but there's a couple of small little tweaks to it. But we've got a news story on it. So I was figuring while I do this news story, you could find some other ones really quick.
Okay. Well, we certainly can do that. But yeah, and coming up tomorrow is Nate Evans from Pop Zera is going to be joining us.
Yeah, I know he's going to talk about some stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, let's do some computer news, and we'll get started with that right now.
Okay.
Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimmer Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimmerutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free.
Free?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything at the Slimmer Utilities website, totally free. And we use it here at the Crossman household. It's not a freemium model. You don't get a crippled version, none of that stuff. I mean, you get it, it works, and you're going to be very, very happy that you check them out. SlimmerUtilities.com. This story from PC Mag, animated GIFs. You remember the old animated GIFs? Boy.
I think it's pronounced GIF.
I pronounce it GIF.
Isn't that
animated GIF or just invade Twitter.
Uh-oh.
Evidently, there's pretty much no escaping animated GIFs on the internet these days. And now, one former safe haven has officially jumped on the animated GIF bandwagon, and that is Twitter. The microblogging service today added support for the looping moving images. Starting today, you can share and view animated GIFs on Twitter.com, Android, and iPhone, according to a tweet from Twitter support. The company also included a demo GIF showing how they'll work on the site. Okay, so you can see it yourself. Luckily, animated GIFs won't automatically start to play as you're scrolling through your Twitter feed. On mobile devices, you can press the play button to view the animation, and on Twitter.com, you'll need to press the View Photo link to see it. Twitter also had a little fun with announcements addressing the controversy over the pronunciation of the word GIF.
See? GIF.
In a sample GIF, a user starts typing the word GIF with a J, but erases it and goes with the correct spelling of GIF. The debate over how to say the word GIF has been going on for years. It's like you and McAfee, and you say McAfee, and it's not McAfee, it's McAfee, you know. I say it's OS 10, you say it's OS X, you know. It'll go on and on. But really, it picked up steam last May when GIF creator, the guy who actually created the GIF, and I don't know how to pronounce it, Steve Wilhite, weighed in on the animated image's correct pronunciation. His answer, much like the peanut butter brand Jif, it's a soft G. So he says it's Jif. But not everyone. Yeah, but not everyone agrees. Even the White House decreed that Jif gets a hard G. But the creator, the guy who I don't know how it's pronounced, it says it's pronounced Jif. So I'm right and you're wrong.
OS X.
Meanwhile, Pinterest back in January added support for animated GIFs, and Google Plus started letting members use GIFs as their profile photos last year. So if you have a great idea for an animated GIF, but have never made one before, don't fret. PC Magazine's overview of how to make animated GIFs, you can check that out, and that's pretty much it. So there you go. Animated GIFs. GIF.
GIF.
No.
Potato.
No. So that's it. So now you know it's pronounced GIF, and I'll take it. You have a news story for us?
I've got one. So how much did you pay for your iMac? Do you remember?
Yeah, I paid about, I think when all said and was done, was about $2,500.
$2,500. Yeah, I guess they're not cheap, and they're one of those things. We fall into the category of this is indeed a desktop, but it's one of those all-in-ones. But in a news story from the Brisbane Times, Apple debuts low-cost iMac. Oh. Apple has unveiled its low-cost iMac, its lowest-cost iMac yet, slashing the price of its basic 21.5-inch model to create an entry-level machine it is selling now for its online store for, but you can't guess how much.
How much?
Free. No.
No.
For $1,349. Real discount. Thanks, Apple. While the capabilities of the all-in-one have also been moved back slightly to accommodate the price drop, the 21.5-inch model now represents a less expensive step into the Apple ecosystem that isn't as brawny and pricey as the 27-inch iMac. For the future reference, if you're going to buy an iMac, go 27. The same rule with just about everything Apple: go big or don't go at all. Make sure that you've got everything. You've got it handled there.
Okay.
Or was I? Apple ecosystem. This isn't a brawny and pricey as the 27-inch iMac, but still it includes good quality screen and keyboard, unlike the tiny standalone the Mac Mini, which isn't a bad deal. The Intel Iris Pro Graphics Processing Unit, the GPU, has been replaced in favor of the Intel HD Graphics 5000, meaning less intensive graphics processing, although the Iris and an even more powerful NVIDIA GPU are offered as optional upgrades. The default hard drive has also been retracted down to 500 gigabytes. As with other iMac models, the new entry-level one comes standard with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and USB 3.0 ports. It also comes with free copies of iWork, iLife pre-installed, and although the recently announced OS X Yosemite is not yet available, users who pick up a new machine in the meantime will be able to upgrade for free when it releases.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Do you know what a Flexi keyboard is? Flexi, Flexsy.
I think I ate something like that recently.
Okay. Well, evidently Samsung Gear 2 is now supporting the Flexi keyboard. Smartwatches are still gaining their footing, but I know I'm still waiting for my iWatch.
I thought you got a watch. You got a replacement.
Yeah, I do. I showed
the
it.
black one, right? It was a.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you still wearing that watch? I didn't see that. I wasn't looking at the video.
Oh, there it is. See?
Yeah, he's still wearing it.
Beautiful.
Good. It's one of the it's one of the Flexi Band ones, and not the ones that have the clasp on it, right?
No, this is actually a ceramic. It's the whole watch is made of high grade ceramic.
But it like stretches to put on your wrist as opposed to you unclasp it.
No, it actually has a clip that it has a safety band, but it actually unclips. I don't know if here. I'll show you. You can see it here. I'll hold it over my hand.
Oh, there we go. I see it. Okay. You have to push a button.
Yeah, you push a button and see how it opens like that.
Yeah,
see?
But you take it off when you go to the bathroom, don't you?
That's TMI.
Just hoping you do, because we've heard of the fate of your previous watch.
What is this obsession with McDonald's and having to go to the bathroom?
I'm just telling you, McDonald's is not a good thing.
Evidently not.
I am genuinely not happy with myself. It was tasty, but my stomach has decided that it is not a good idea.
Hopefully you can hang in there for 40 more minutes.
I'm hoping. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're watching a live video stream, and if I wasn't so dark complected, I'd be green. Like you don't understand. Like my stomach. Like seriously, like have you ever had the stomach flu?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's about the feeling I'm getting right now, and like every few minutes, I'm trying to kill the evil sensation with bourbon, and that seems to be working, but it hits my stomach, and my stomach is like, go away, and I'm like, oh God, no.
Oh God. Well, let's see. Anyway, smartwatches are still gaining their footing, but Samsung's additional Flexi Messenger could give its Gear 2 wearable a boost. The new touchscreen keyboard app allows Gear users to access previous conversation threads and contacts and receive and send SMS messages on the miniature screen. Flexi Messenger also syncs with the wearer's smartphone, integrating all information from both devices so you never miss a message. Isn't that cool? It's exciting to be expanding to devices like the Samsung Gear, said the CEO of the company. We want every owner of a smart device, wearable devices included, to have Flexi and to enjoy the happy typing experience. While the Flexi predictive keyboard may be nice for quick typing on a smartphone or breaking a world record, it's even more efficient when you're writing with one hand on a 1.63-inch square screen. Samsung in February unveiled two second-generation smartwatches, the Gear 2 and Gear 2 Neo, both of which run the Tizen operating system and boast a 320 by 320 Super AMOLED. Okay.
AMOLED.
But for now, only the Gear 2 has Flexi compatibility. Are we okay? And are we excited to have worked with the support of the Samsung Gear team to bring the awesome new app to the Gear ecosystem and Tizen Wearable OS? Our unique technology is redefining what wearable technologies devices are capable of and how users will engage with their smartwatch. The free Flexi Messenger app is available now to download in the Samsung App Marketplace. There you go. Okay, so
what is it called? The Flexi what?
The Flexi app.
Flexi
Messenger. Flexi Messenger app. Flexi Messenger.
Well, I heard mention of Samsung in that one, so let's go with another flexible Samsung device then. How about that?
Okay. All right.
Samsung Gear line gets heart monitor, pedometer updates. So I guess they're getting updates to the heart monitor and the pedometer from CNET.com. The Gear Fit fitness band and the Gear 2 and Gear 2 Neo smartwatches are refreshed with more accurate sleep mode, heart rate monitor, and pedometer settings. The people have spoken and Samsung listened. The company announced Wednesday that based on consumer feedback, quote, it had unleashed several new updates for its fitness band and two smartwatches. The Gear Fit, Gear 2, and Gear 2 Neo, the Neo being the one, new, yeah. It's the one that they wore in the Matrix. Anyway, all have new software updates for U.S. users that include more accurate pedometer, heart rate monitor, and sleep mode. Specifically, the pedometer now starts counting steps automatically and allows for higher goals and easier data transfer process. The updated sleep mode disables the screen wake-up feature so that users can now wear their device while sleeping without the bright screen waking them up. Samsung dropped the Galaxy name from its smartwatches and unveiled the Gear 2 and Gear 2 Neo in February. These two devices are touted as having several standalone features alongside the ability to act as a companion to the Samsung smartphone. They run the company's own Tizen operating system rather than Android. Alongside the refreshed smartwatch lineup, Samsung also debuted the Gear Fit in February. The wearable is a slim fitness band with a full color display. Samsung's new updates begin rolling out Wednesday.
Wow.
You don't want to wear one of these things. The new ones are pretty thin.
Now that I have my watch, I'm definitely going to wait for the iWatch.
I thought you were going to get the Moto 360.
No, now that I have this watch, I'm just going to wear this until I see the iWatch. It gives me a little bit more time.
I'm waiting. I want to know. I want to know when the Moto 360 actually comes out. And there's been a couple of interesting developments on Moto 3 on the Moto 360, and we've got concept designs, and they look absolutely beautiful.
I agree with you, but now I'm not in a rush. I'm going to wait. I mean, I really do like this watch that I'm wearing here.
You don't drop that one in the toilet.
Yeah, no, I can't because this has got that clasp on it. See, it won't fall. Even if the band, it won't.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually deflect bullets with this one. I mean, this is
deflect bullets.
Yes.
Don't bet your life on that one.
Hey, this story from PC Magazine. Adobe updates Creative Cloud and reveals Adobe Ink Stylus. This is something new. Okay. The Adobe today announced a slew of updates and new products at an event at New York's Lincoln Center. Not only are all the applications in the Creative Cloud suite getting significant updates, but for the first time ever, Adobe is offering hardware gadgets. Hardware gadgets. This is Adobe software. They're now offering hardware gadgets. For example, they have a stylus called Adobe Ink and a ruler called Slide, which lets you draw perfectly straight lines. Now, the devices work in concert with two new iPad apps, Sketch and Line. The first, as its name implies, is all about creative pencil, marker, or brush drawing, while the latter is more in line with the draftsman's trade. With this update, officially dubbed Creative Cloud 2014, Adobe makes a good case for its subscription model with significant updates to its photography, design, video, audio, and web development applications. Photoshop gets a new blur gallery motion effects, a focus mask tool that lets you create a mask based on the part of the photo that's in focus. That's cool. Perspective warp tool lets you correct perspective in only select areas of a photo, while Smart Objects gets smarter with the ability to be linked across multiple documents. Everything is sped up with an updated Mercury graphics engine underneath. The updated program supports Windows 8.1 Touch input like Microsoft Surface Pro 3 tablets. The designer apps Illustrator, InDesign, and Muse also get updates and speed boosts, including a new live shapes that can transform rectangles into more complex shapes. The video and audio tools like Premiere, After Effects, SpeedGrade, and Audition get live text templates and masking and tracking tools and better integration between After Effects, Premiere Pro, and SpeedGrade. The Dreamweaver website building app now has an Element Quick View for easier HTML page structure modifications along with other new tools. I don't know. You like Dreamweaver? I have. Ben got Dreamweaver, but he hasn't used it since he's been using Wix.
Yeah, I have not touched Dreamweaver in a number of years.
Yeah.
Like I remember back in the day, it was a good development environment.
Yeah.
But here recently, I don't know. I think it just became with the advent of like content management systems and things like Wix.
Yeah.
It just became kind of useless.
Yeah. Well, it's useless, but it's certainly not as necessary, and not you can create really great websites with that. We're going to have Wix, by the way, is going to be on the show next week. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Wix is going to be on the show next Tuesday. They're going to be with us at the first hour of the show, talking about because they've added some new features to Wix that are very, very cool. So we're going to be talking to them. Now there are also some new mobile apps from Adobe. Adobe Photoshop Mix joins Sketch and Line as the third new iPad app. Mix gives anyone with an iPad some of Photoshop's most impressive tools: content-aware fill, camera shake reduction, and upright, which corrects distorted perspectives. Also released at the big event today is Creative Cloud app for the iPad and iPhone, which gives users access to their media collection while they're on the run. Part of this explosion of new Creative Cloud apps comes thanks to a new Adobe Creative SDK, which gives developers access to the software's house's vast store of capabilities. The SDK that's a software developer kit, is currently in private beta, but a company rep said it's expected to launch at the Adobe Max event coming up in this October. For several months, Adobe had offered a $9.99 special offer that gets Shutterbugs the two big programs they're most interested in, which is Photoshop CC and Lightroom, along with the photo-related mobile apps and web galleries courtesy of Lightroom.com. Adobe announced today that this photography plan would be a permanent offering, while the Lightroom mobile app is now available for iPhone in addition to iPad. That's nice. Photographers aren't the only ones who can take advantage of the new Creative Cloud pricing plans. A student plan, I love those, gets those in education the entire suite of programs for $19.99 a month, compared with the regular price of $50 a month. That's nice. A lot of users of Adobe software were skeptical about having to sign up for a recurring subscription pricing plan, but this and previous releases show that the software company is determined to make the subscription model a valuable proposition to its users. In other words, I mean, they're coming out with all this stuff, and it's beginning to make more sense, to go to this. I know you were kind of against the subscription model, but I think that
I just don't. It's like this. It's like for me, right? I use like Photoshop, right? I use Photoshop like once a month, maybe, and it's for updating tear sheets or something else like that. And for me to have to pay a subscription, what's the subscription price for Photoshop or Adobe? What is the Adobe Cloud or whatever it's called now? It's like I don't know what the price is for it, but you already buy the software itself, and it's I know Adobe and Photoshop were ridiculously overpriced to begin with, and then to have to pay a recurring price on that every year, it's like every year or month by month.
They're showing you get so much now. I mean, this is a lot of stuff. What did you think of their hardware?
But do you use that lot of stuff? That's my point. Like literally. Like I send you Photoshop stuff, right? I send you Photoshop stuff, and that Photoshop stuff, I send it to you created in Photoshop. It could have been very, very easily, something, next, you could have opened it in a basic reader and done your thing there and just been done with it. But it's really I don't use it enough to justify a cost on it. And here I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Go jump off a bridge. Well, okay, so I'm looking at the prices, right? I'm looking at the prices here. There's you can get the latest version of Photoshop, the latest version of Lightroom desktop, mobile, and web app. So I guess that's pretty cool. That's photography, and that's $10 a month, right?
Yeah.
$10 a month. And if you get started now, you get 30-day free trial and 2 gigabytes of cloud storage. So I guess $9 a month isn't that bad. But if you go all the way up to the one that you're talking about, which is like complete, it's like it requires an annual commitment.
You have to be. But I'm sure you're going to be a specialist, a professional. For the most part, you can use the lighter things and you're fine. But if you're a pro, then it's a business expense. That's all.
So let me look at this again. Let me go back. So if you go and you get the photography one, which is $10 a month. It's required that you have to prepay a year. So you have to buy a year. Well, they all require annual commitments. You have to buy it for at least a year for this to work, and it's $120 for the basic package, which is still, I guess, cheaper. Latest versions of that one, but can you get the desktop app? That's what I'm looking for right now. Is if you can download the desktop app. But even still.
What do you think about About the hardware, Adobe getting into hardware. I mean, I remember when it was a big deal when Microsoft was getting into hardware. Adobe is getting into hardware. I mean,
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's like this. Okay, Craig, you've been a radio talk show host for your entire life, right?
Okay.
Most of it, okay? Now I'm going to put you on broadcast television.
Didn't you
no more
just
radio.
Didn't you? You just did that.
I put you on Google Hangouts where you still have the format of a radio talk show, but I want you now to be a television newscaster.
I could do that easily.
You could?
Yeah.
With absolutely no hiccups, no problems, or would it take you a year or so to get your role?
None whatsoever. I've been doing this for 20 years, so I could do it. Not a problem.
You think you could go on television and be like, I'm Greg Crossman, and this is why I'm awesome?
Yes, exactly.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that because I got a friend over at Fox that's like,
okay.
That's what I think they should do. I think they should hold like television news anchor tryouts. That's what they should do.
Not a problem. Yeah, I
okay,
know.
Okay, so I'll take you out of broadcast journalism altogether. So instead of you being you're a broadcast journalist, you have been for your entire life. Now I want you to go and be a used car salesman.
Okay. Well, I actually though say something else. You've been a broadcaster all your life. Now we want you to be a doctor.
A doctor.
Okay. You say, well, no, that I can't.
Not Dr. Strangelove.
No, but I get your point though. I understand. But okay. So
look at Microsoft. When Microsoft jumped into the hardware arena, what did they jump into? They jumped in with the Surface, right?
Yeah, not that good. Well, they had keyboards and mice before that.
I mean, their keyboards and mice were just Logitech clones. You know, that's all they were. They were just like, oh, look, Logitech's making all. And by that point, Logitech had already developed a reputation for quality stuff, and they were uphill battling against those guys. I'm just saying, Adobe jumping into hardware, right? Jumping into hardware is like Amazon jumping into phones.
Okay. Well,
it's going to be a little rough, and while they make decent hardware, and it's funny because everybody's taking and building their own bastardized version of Android to support their devices. So.
Yeah. Well, okay, we're going to take a break, and hopefully Charles will be with us when we get back. You're sounding better.
Trying to.
Yeah, this is the Computer America. Hey, you learn how to be a trooper in this business. We'll continue with doing more computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. We got lots more stories coming up. Stay with us.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hello, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a news tips bulletin review of Microsoft Office 365. That's the subscription offering of Office, meaning, among other things, annuity revenues for Microsoft. It seems like a good fit for people with more than one PC or Mac, especially if they're not uncomfortable using cloud services to share documents and files across those machines or with others. It also offers on-demand web apps that can work on computers that don't have Office installed. We agreed to review it when we learned of Office Mobile for Android, in hopes that when we're away, we could use our Android tablet for writing and so on, but no such luck. Office Mobile for Android works on handsets only, no tablets, to access, view, create, or edit Word, Excel, or PowerPoint files. Tasks that might have been palatable on a tablet prove tedious on a handset, but that's also true of third-party Office workalikes. So bottom line, Office 365 provides alternatives that many users will find compelling. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
And welcome back to the Computer America Show. Charles Tindall is indisposed at the moment. Hopefully we'll be back momentarily. In the meantime, we're doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Just let me mention real quick before we get back to the news that we still have that limited special offer from ProXPN. If you go to our website at computeramerica.com, you'll see right there on our homepage, just click on the ProXPN logo, and it'll take you to our special page that we have set up. And if you don't know what ProXPN is, basically it's an open VPN solution. You know, here's the thing: when you go online these days, basically, you know, your privacy could be compromised, especially when you use an open Wi-Fi connection. You know, but even when you're at home, internet service providers can monitor where you go and what you do, and if you do something that they think exceeds their guidelines, they can block whatever it is that you're doing. This is true. They can. And so, but with the also, if you want to look at content from other countries, you know, that could be restricted too. But with ProXPN, you don't have to worry about any of these things. It's an open VPN solution hosted not only here in the United States but globally, as well in like places like Amsterdam and London, Singapore. So when you're online, you actually appear as if you're located in these other cities. ProXPN is 100% secure. I use it, and our Computer America staff uses it. The encryption key is very impressive at 2048 bits, and the tunnel is 512 bits. This means ProXPN protects you online, and it protects your privacy. This is the way that the internet was supposed to be. Now, look, we want you to use it. Now, you know, we all use it here, but we want you to try it for yourself. If you're using a desktop, ProXPN has a Mac version and a Windows version that gives you advanced controls to select ports. You can connect at startup, and here's something very, very cool. You can select which programs should shut down in case your VPN connection goes down and your anonymity has been compromised. That's very slick. So here's the deal. You can download ProXPN for free and use it, but quite frankly, the premium version is so much faster and better, really. Normally it's just $10 a month or $75 a year, but if you enter in the code COMPAM, that's short for Computer America, COMPAM, C-O-M-P-A-M, you get an additional 20% off membership. Any membership that you get 20% off, and that's not just a one-time. That's good forever. Okay, so that's basically less than $5 a month when you go for the yearly plan. Look, in this day and age, when you go online, you need this. And if you listen to the show, you know this is true. This is the best VPN I've tried. And again, that's proxpn.com. Use the promo code COMPAM. Here's just the thing. Go to our website, click on the ProXPN logo, you'll read the page, and then anywhere you click on that page, it'll take you to the special page that we have set up at ProXPN. 20% off your membership forever. ProXPN. Don't wait. Do it now. Okay? Charles 10-9 and I are doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. And here's a story. Apple unveiled today. No, it's not an iWatch. Nope. They unveiled a cheaper 21.5-inch iMac. A 21.5-inch iMac. Isn't that cool? So, if you've been eyeing an iMac but holding off because of the price, Apple may have just the thing for you. Apple today added a new budget-friendly option to its 21.5-inch iMac lineup. Okay. The entry-level machine starts at $1,099. That's $1,099, and supports a 1.4 gigahertz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor. Okay. With a turbo boost speeds up to 2.7 gigahertz. That's $200 cheaper than the 2.7 gig model and $400 less than the 2.9 gigahertz version. Now, other features of the new iMac include the Intel HD 5000 graphics, 8 gigs of memory, a 500 gig hard drive. All iMac models include the next-gen 802.11ac Wi-Fi 2 Thunderbolt ports and 4 USB 3.0 ports. Configure to order options include a 1 terabyte hard drive, a 1 terabyte Fusion drive, that's the one that combines the magnetic hard drive and the solid state drive, and up to 250 gigs of flash storage. The new iMac is available today, through Apple's online store, company retail stores, and select Apple authorized resellers. All new iMacs come with a iLife and iWork software for free. Now, this move comes about 2 months after Apple rolled out an upgraded and cheaper MacBook Air lineup. Meanwhile, Apple unveiled a new version of its Mac OS X, Yosemite, or Yosemite. And so basically that's it. A new, cheaper iMac for you, waiting.
Does it make you feel like you should have waited to buy a cheaper iMac, Greg?
No, not at all. My next iMac costs as much, if not more, than the one that I have today.
I think you should just switch to a MacBook Pro. Then you don't have to carry your iMac to you when you snowbird it.
I like a desktop Mac.
I'm telling you, you can get a MacBook Pro, right? You get a MacBook Pro fully spec'd out, and then you get a Thunderbolt display, right? You get the Thunderbolt display.
I understand.
Right? Then you get the Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, and then literally you go from one house to another house. You sit down and you go click, and you're done. And you're online. You're good.
What you don't want to do is wind up having 2 Macs, one in each location.
Why would you do 2 Macs instead of just 1 Mac that you configure once and just carry around? Just saying. That's what we do. I mean, I've got my MacBook Pro, and literally this thing goes home with me every night.
How big a screen does it have?
This is a 15.4-inch screen, but it's attached to my 32-inch monitor, and it's attached to it's attached to my dock via Thunderbolt, which is attached to my 32-inch monitor. And literally, like, I come in, I set it down, I plug it up, I'm done. I'm at work, I'm doing everything I need to, and then if I'm traveling, I unplug it, I stick it in its bag, I put my phone in the bag with it, I go to wherever it is that I gotta go, and it's no longer I want to be able to pick up work from this machine here and that machine there, and I want to have this config here and have everything sunk up. No, I've got one computer that now I carry around with me everywhere, and it's what I've been searching for. Like, I've had various different machines, and I've built Travelers. I mean, ask my wife. We spent a lot of money in hardware in the last year, just because I was looking for that perfect Traveler. And I got a MacBook Pro, and this is not a plug, and I know Gene Steinberg is probably out there listening, being like, "We got him!" But I needed an i7 with at least 15-inch screen that had at least 8 gigs of RAM in it, and that was fast, it was stable, and it was preferably Linux-based. And I got that in my Mac.
I think I'm gonna get an updock. Really, I think that'll solve the problem.
A what?
I think I'm gonna get an updock.
What's an updock?
Shit. Updock.
What's up, Doc? Oh, I walked into that. I walked in. What's up, Doc? Didn't we have a caller one night? Who was doing that?
No, Ben pulled that on me the night, and I fell for it, unfortunately. So, well, anyway, iOS. This story comes from PC Magazine. iOS safer than Android. Well,
duh.
Well, maybe not, according to this article by Neil Rubinking. Common wisdom holds that iOS devices are inherently secure, like Macs. Android devices are inherently vulnerable, like Windows. Given that Macs are actually more vulnerable than people think, that mindset doesn't work. A new study by Marble Security. I don't know. Would you? The name of that company strikes me as odd. See you guys sitting around playing with marbles.
Marvel? Is it Marvel or Marble?
Marble. Like we
so a bunch of guys lost their marbles?
Yeah, they lost their marbles at Marble Security. Found that, at least in a corporate environment, Android and iOS devices pose nearly equal security dangers. Okay. One big problem for Android security is OS fragmentation. Most iOS users get operating system updates seamlessly and automatically. For Android users, security updates may not even be available. Depending on the device and version, and users don't always apply available updates. Okay. In addition, Apple maintains stronger control over app distribution than Google does. Okay. What about a jailbroken device, whether iOS or Android, can download and install apps from any source? Okay, yeah, if it's jailbroken, but don't count that. Most people don't have jailbroken iOS devices.
Well, you have to put it. You have to put it like this. I mean, I don't think this article is comparing apples to apples. They're going to the extremes of the different security configurations. An iPhone out of the box with next to no apps on it, or with just approved apps on it, is secure. An Android phone out of the box with no apps on it or only approved apps on it is equally as secure. It's when those begin to be customized that you run into problems. People want customization out of their iDevice. They turn around and they jailbreak it to get customization features, and that's when you become vulnerable and you can install third-party malware and all this other stuff. Same with an Android device. On Android, you have to actually enable, install from third-party sources, so on and so forth, to find these kind of hacks. But on a slight uptick, Android is more vulnerable because it's open source, because you can actually download the majority of the stuff you need to configure Android. You can build Android and bastardize it all you want to, and that's the problem. So if you really want to play apples to apples with Apple, you need to have like a Nexus device and an iPhone. Because the Nexus devices are stock Android. They're not all touch-whizzed and themed and carrier stupid UI'd out. They are the vanilla Android experience, and that's what most people don't understand, is that all these other people have just put their overlays on it and made it this, that, or the other. So it's iOS. We find, I know there's less for us to hack. Like, we get clients all the time like, can you get into an iDevice, or can you get into my mobile phone? And we say, well, no, it's an iPhone, not touching it. We can't do anything with it. It's an Android. Well, possibly. Both of which we have to jump through a lot of hoops to get done. So, it just depends.
Yeah. Hey, why am I looking at a sad Mac on our live video stream?
Because I feel ill, and I don't need the whole world looking at me while I look ill.
You look fine. I'm watching you. Look fine. You
I look like a sad Mac.
No, you don't. You look fine. Anyway, our live computer video America's video streaming page is brought to you by Otherworld Computing. Quality products, expert support since 1988. Please visit them at macsales.com for any of your Apple needs. And I was talking to them just the other day. They have these little hidden things on here where you can find some really. If you go to the macsales.com website and you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen, not quite the very bottom, but almost the bottom, they have there's a link there. It doesn't look like a link, but it's a link, and it says clearance, and you click on that, you will see some of their bargains that you wouldn't have known that they were there. For example, they've got this USB 3.0 desktop enclosure for any 3.5 SATA hard drive up to 4 terabytes for $1.75. $1.75 for this thing.
Where is this again?
If you go to the Otherworld Computing website and you go all the way to the bottom, and you'll see, just before you hit the bottom, you'll see it says clearance, and you click on that, and you will see.
I'm looking.
Yeah, over 100. And not only that, the other little thing is that you only look at the first page. Actually, they have you go to the next page. They have more of them there too. They have all these bargains that are just kind of sitting there that people don't know about, and they kind of had them sequestered away on the Other World Computing website.
Oh, wow, they've got a $7.50 Toshiba.
Yeah.
One. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they got some really cool things.
$1.75, 0 gigabyte USB 3.0 desktop enclosure for any 3.5-inch SATA drive.
Yeah.
Up to 4 terabytes, USB 3 cable included. Buyout price for $1.75.
Awesome. Yeah, they got all these things. So check them out at MacSales.com. They got lots of great bargains there, even if you're not looking for the secret clearance ones, and you'll be happy with it.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anybody. Hey, except that you heard it here on Computer America. Okay, you have a new story for us?
Yes. Yes, I do.
By the way, I looked at that link of the Moto 360 design watches.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
Told you.
Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous. They're stunning. They have some of the different faces that people are submitting. It looks absolutely gorgeous, you know. But I'm gonna wait till the iWatch comes out, and then Gesundheit. You have a story.
I didn't sneeze, but I've got a story. Yes, I've got a story. This is somewhere interesting that I've never actually been to before, but it seems to be appropriate. Okay. From Zacks.com, Tesla Motors Inc. May soon be permitted to directly sell its cars in New Jersey. The New Jersey Assembly unanimously voted in favor of a bill that allows direct selling by zero-emission vehicle manufacturers that were licensed by the State Motor Vehicle Commission before January 1st, 2014, provided they run a service center in the state. However, the bill still needs to be approved by the New Jersey Senate before it becomes a law. Zero-emission vehicles include electric cars and fuel cell cars. Drink.
Why are you choking? I thought you were having stomach problems. That cough.
Yeah, I'm trying to prevent gagging, but
okay.
It's okay. Right. However, the bill still needs to be approved by the New Jersey state before it becomes law. Zero-emission vehicles include electric and fuel cell cars. In March, new regulations approved by the State Assembly banned the direct sale of vehicles by any automaker and necessitated the use of a middleman. Stupid. Tesla, which was forced to close its 2 stores in the state, had filed an appeal against the regulation. If the new bill is approved, Tesla will not only be able to sell cars in the state, but might also increase the number of stores to 4. The automaker is facing opposition to its direct sell model in numerous U.S. states because dealerships are tools and they want to make their commission, and they limit the dealer handling fee, and it all goes to the manufacturer, which it should be anyway. So screw you, dealerships. Anyway, while many states have allowed the automaker, wait a minute, I can't just glance over that. Where did you buy your car from? You bought your car from a dealership, right?
From a dealership.
And did they hit you with the dealer handling fee?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they hit you with a dealer handling fee. They hit you with a lot maintenance fee. They hit you with all of these underlying fees that go straight to the dealership. And I applaud Tesla for saying, you know what, we're going to be our cars are already, right on the cusp of being affordable, right? They're right there. If we add a dealership to it, what is typically a $50,000 car is now a $55,000, $57,000, $58,000, even $60,000 car, just based on the fees and all the other stuff that's there. If we can direct sell these, I'm waiting for the day for you to be able to go on Amazon and be like, Tesla Model S, red, new, this type of interior, bam, deliver, and a drone drop that thing off at your house. I'm looking forward to those days where we can get rid of the middlemen and actually go straight to the manufacturer. And I don't understand why we haven't done that before now. It's just really, it just irritates me. Like, why do I need somebody else to give me features and options and all this other stuff on a car, and why do I have to pay this salesperson to give me a pitch? Why can't I do like you do with Tesla and just walk into a store and be like, this one is the one that I want. Sit in the model that's sitting on the floor. One model. That's all I need. Sit in the model, go outside, test drive a couple of the ones they've got out there, go back in the store, pick up a tablet, and completely customize it. What colors do you want? This. And then they've got a huge display, like almost a life-size display that shows you what it is that you've picked. You want chrome trim? Here you go. You want the 18-inch rims? Here you go. You can physically see it and look at it and rotate it around and touch it and do all that other stuff. You know, I don't need a giant dealership where it's it and a million other cars that I'm not even interested in. When you went to the dealership, right? When you went to the dealership, you knew you wanted a, what do you get? You got a PT Cruiser, right?
Yeah, PT Cruiser.
Did you know you wanted a PT Cruiser when you went to the dealership, or did you see that one and love it?
No. We knew it. Matter of fact, my wife and I went into it, and the car we wanted was up on a. We looked around on at other places looking for the one, and we just didn't. It didn't grab. We wanted a PT Cruiser that we saw the picture of it. We wanted, and then this one was up on a platform rotating with these high chrome tires, and we said, "That's it." You know, we wanted it. And that's it.
You don't need. I don't need. Oh, that went down the wrong pipe. We we went and looked at a pickup truck not too long ago, right? Mm-hmm. I know exactly what truck I want, right? I want the Toyota, the Tundra, the SR5, fully loaded, you know, with the off-road package and the towing package. I know exactly what vehicle I want, and I've done a boatload of research on this vehicle. I don't need to know options. I don't need to look at last year's model. I don't need to look at, you know, the comparable Ford F-150 quad cab, which, by the way, is a nice truck. Yeah. It is a very nice truck, and you know, no bashing on Ford. You know, you are my runner-up, my second one if I can't find the perfect Toyota. The reason I love Toyota is I've had two Lexi that I've run both of those things to almost 300,000 miles and didn't have not one problem with them that wasn't routine maintenance. You can drive those things. Yeah, you can drive those things till the wheels fall off, and then take it to a mechanic and have them put them back on and drive them again until the wheels fall off. Just about Japanese motors, you know. I mean, I've got my F-150 now. It's a 99. That thing has 230,000 miles on it and runs like a champ.
Wow.
Yeah, I love my truck. Like, she tows and hauls like nobody's business, but it's a good thing. You know? But anyway, going back to the story. Sorry, I digress just about.
Wait a minute. Actually, I need to do an upgrade alert.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. Upgrade alert. Firefox.
You've so got to do that better.
30.0.
Yeah, I got that notice while we were on the show. Did you get the notice too?
Yeah. I updated it. It's nice. They've added some new things like sidebars buttons in browser Chrome enables faster access to social, bookmark, and history sidebars. They've added that new. And if you have the Mac OS X version, the Command E now sets find term to selected text, which is kind of cool.
What does that mean? Oh, selected text. What does that mean?
Well, you highlight the text, you select it, you know, and then you do a Command E, and then it will find that particular thing, you know. It just copies it and moves it right into the find, you know, automatically. You don't have to type it.
You know, I like the new update. I just restarted Firefox and it brought up everything up here. But there's a problem.
What's that?
First thing it advertises is the Firefox sync thing.
Yeah.
You use that at all?
No.
It'll sync your passwords, bookmarks, and your browsing history and everything across all of your devices, and it's cool because it's only on Android. It's on anywhere where you can get the browser, but it's on Android for all the other ones. But if you go one step beyond that and you enable what's that thing called? The master password. There you go. Oh. For all of your saved passwords, so all of your passwords are stored encrypted. It doesn't work. Like you can't sync your passwords across them because they're encrypted. Not a problem. Your bookmarks still sync, but it's just interesting to see.
Yeah. They've also made a couple of changes. Basically, you should just they've fixed a couple of problems. The ignore autocomplete equals off. We're offering to save passwords via the password manager. Okay, all right, and that's very security fixes. So if you have Firefox and you don't have it this automatically upgrade, which I do, it just does it. Seems to at least have it notify you, or go to under the Firefox and about Firefox, and then you'll see it'll check it and then do that, and it'll also make sure that all of your plugins and apps that work with it are compatible. But definitely upgrade. Huh?
Yeah, I've upgraded. I just did it, and that's one thing I like about Firefox.
Yeah, it is very, very smooth, very simple.
I wonder if there's an upgrade for the Android.
I don't know. There may be. Hey, we're just about out of time. What do we got tomorrow night? Oh, now normally tomorrow night is your hacker show, but I understand that your guest couldn't make it or something.
My guest could not make it, but it's okay. It's going to be still in the realm of the hacker show because we're going to have Nate Evans, who is equally as hacker as I am. Well,
yeah.
Skill level, not so much. Attitude-wise, it'll be a good show.
He's the managing editor of PopZara magazine. He's also one of our new correspondents. He'll be joining us talking about the new Android phone that was released today. We'll go into more details about that.
You mean the new Amazon phone?
I mean the new Amazon phone. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
It is Android powered, but it's been so bastardized. But we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. So he's got a couple of interesting topics that he wants to talk about, and he asked me. He says, "Is it available? Can we do it?" I said, "Sure." So we're going to do that.
90 seconds.
So that wraps it up. Again, hopefully sorry again for some of the technical difficulties that we had tonight, but hopefully we'll get that fixed, and we'll be able to bring the Computer America show to you without further interruptions, and hopefully things will go smoothly. You know, it's nice not to have the technology gods angry at you. You know. Because bad things happen
60 seconds.
when the technology gods are angry at you, So what are you going to do? After the show, you going to go puke your guts out, or are you going to be okay?
No, I'm going to go take some kind of stomach. My wife's got these things from Melaleuca. I'm going to go to sleep.
You're going to go to sleep? All right.
Exactly what I'm going to do.
Well, then it means you'll be well rested and ready for tomorrow night.
Yes, I have a very long day tomorrow, too.
Okay. And again, Nathan Evans, manager editor of PopZara magazine, is going to be joining us, and hopefully you will be joining us as well. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk
never goes out and eats McDonald's.
Yeah, that too. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Oh my gosh! Well, you made it.
Yeah. It tasted so good, but it was totally not a good idea.
Evidently not. You'll never do that again.
Well, the feeling that I have reminds me of when I got back from Iraq. After a year and a half of being in the desert and eating like protein and MREs and whatnot, I came back and the first thing I wanted was Burger King. And I ate it, and my stomach was like, "You're stupid." And I spent like the rest of the night in the bathroom, and I'm like, we haven't had McDonald's since mid last year almost, and
wow, and now you won't have it again for a while.
No, I'm just anytime I think McDonald's, I'm gonna be like, no.
You just remember this thing. Well, we're gonna say goodnight to everybody on our Google Hangouts, and we'll see you all tomorrow with Nathan Evans from PopZara.
Bye, people.
Good night, everybody.